Welcome to our 2023 month by month forecast. It's funny because I was just shuffling before, obviously getting the decks ready, and this one fell out on the floor, and I was like, okay, this is going to be like an overall message. And it's quite funny because I don't like doing predictions, okay? Because nothing is set in stone. Yeah, doing any sort of psychic reading or anything like that, I'm so strong on like nothing is set on stone, because it's not. Nothing is set in stone. Whatever happens tomorrow, whatever happens next week, whatever happens next month, whatever happens next year is really dependent on what you do today. Like, I am adamant about that, okay? But psychics and empaths and sensitive people and people who train their skills can predict the future. In essence of, this is so important, okay? This is so important. And if you've followed me for a while, you know that I always harp on about this, because the thing is that I get so agitated about psychics saying this is what's going to happen, but then at the end of the day, that will only happen for that person if they continue to choose that path. Because the reality is there's not only this path, there's this one and this one and this one and this one. Like, you could wake up tomorrow and you could choose to do anything you wanted to do, and that's going to influence whether that happens or that happens or that happens or that happens or that happens, okay? So in tuning into 2023, I'm going to do month by month, okay? But this is not set in stone. Like, what I'm tuning into is the energies that are around collectively, and how they affect you and how you use those energies is really dependent on what you decide to do in that moment, in that day, on that month, right? So it's interesting that the funny thing that I talk about this, right? And the reason I started this 2023 forecast with this is because the card that literally fell out on the deck, like on the floor from the deck, is the Bobcat Spirit. Life is a mystery. Like, need I say any more? Like, nobody can predict the future. But in essence, we can tune in and we can see different pathways that are available to you, that are available to the collective, that are available to humanity, right? For example, with humanity and the world stuff, like, everyone was like, hey, all this doom and gloom or this transhumanism or all this stuff. And it's kind of like, yeah, there are different outcomes that could possibly happen. But it's really dependent on how fast humans wake up, on what choices they make today, on what they decide to believe today, tomorrow, next week. Like, it's so dependent and it's so fluid, and that's why it's always changing. It's always changing. And, the Bobcat says this beautifully, like, life is a mystery. Yeah, life is an absolute mystery. So I'm just going to see if there's any messages that want to jump out from the actual guidebook. So this is the animal spirit, the spirit oracle, the spirit animal oracle, get it right, by Colette Baron Reed. I love this deck. I'll link it up below if you feel called for it. And I felt called to use this I will use other decks as well for this 2023 reading, but I'm going to start with this one. So life is a mystery. Just going to see if anything jumps out. It says, let your logical mind take a rest as you start to perceive the energy of your environment. Okay, so this is exactly what I was just talking about. We literally can tune into the energy, and that's what we're doing, right? When we're doing any sort of psychic reading or tuning in, like I do daily readings here, for goodness sake. So it's like tuning into the energies of the day, and it's like you can use these energies to support you, to help plan out your time. For example, it's like if you knew it was going to be thunderstorm and raining, you probably wouldn't choose to go camping, for example, right? So it's like, well, you could choose to, just knowing that you're going to get wet. So it's kind of like, it's not like, oh, it's a bad thing. It's just like, you know what you're in for, so to speak, and how to best use that for you. So it says, Bobcat Spirit wants you to be stealthy and wise and keep your own counsel. Let yourself be a mystery yet to be revealed. And it feels like, in 2023, as an overlying message, this is, I want to say, the wisest path, in a sense of like, can you just do what you're here to do and show the world rather than tell them? It just feels like, listen more and talk less, in 2023 for you. Just seeing if anything else wants to jump out. So trust in the wisdom and revelations that come to you, yet know that understanding may not come as you would like it to. What you experience through your heart and intuition, which comes to you as the voice of your inner knowing, will guide you now as you accept that secrecy is woven into the fabric of existence. And this is exactly the thing, like life is a mystery, right? The bottom card, before I even start with January, so this fell out on the ground as the overlying message. Listen more, talk less, do what you're here to do. And it does feel like 2023 is a year of block out the world and just do you. In essence of, this is a time for you to amplify your energy, your purpose. The last few years have wiped a lot of people out. It's time for you to reclaim yourself back, and to, to block out the world is blocking out things that drain your energy, pull your energy down. Like I want to say, to fast track your intuition and fast track your purpose is to really have those solid boundaries up around like where you're choosing to place your time and energy. Like if looking at the world stuff is pulling you down, then why do you keep watching it? If it's putting you in a state of anxiety and fear and panic most of the time, like why are you choosing to stay in that? It's like being in a domestic violence relationship and choosing to stay there. Like it doesn't make logical sense, right? So the overlying card, so the bottom card is the spider spirit, make your dreams real. And so this is the really strong energy of 2023. It's time to claim your energy back. It's time to claim your life back. And by setting these boundaries and it's almost like heads down, bums up, to create and weave the web of your life, right? So they're the sort of two overlying energies of 2023. And it just does feel like a time to, I want to say hunker down, bunker down, like, and just do what you're here to do. Like, it's like to heads down, bums up, like achieve, like get ahead. Like it's almost like catch up on the last few years, because they've been taken away from us in so many ways. And so many people have lost so many people and their livelihoods, and everyone's sort of waking up to a bit of, I want to say lostness and chaos. And, this year I feel was a bit of a year of recovery from the previous 2 years, and everyone's sort of going, whoa, what's going on? And everyone's like, I'm trying to figure out what's happening and making sense of it. And they're questioning things and questioning their life. And in 2019, we wouldn't have seen what we are in now. Like nobody could have predicted that, so to speak, in essence of where people are in their lives right now and questioning everything. And 2023 feels like, I want to say like laying solid foundations, right? But it feels like there's solid foundations that have been laid, but it feels like you're now, okay, now it's time to make my dreams real. Yeah, spider spirit is the overlying energy. So for January, okay, so I'm going to use the spirit animal oracle. I was trying to say animal and oracle at the same time, so the energy's starting to pour through thick and fast. So in January, I'm going to use the animal spirit oracle, the spirit animal oracle. I'm not sure why I keep getting that confused today. I'm also going to pull Unblock Your Love Block. So when I tuned into what decks to use for this 2023 reading, month by month reading, I got guided to use this. And so this is obviously about love, but also about abundance, and also just receiving in general. There's a lot of pink on this deck. It's very connected to the ear chakras. And again, this was like the message from the Bobcat of talk less and listen more. Is that it? Talk less, listen more. Yes. Talk less, listen more. Yeah. And there's a very ear chakra consciousness. Okay. So for January, so I'm going to pull one from the animals and one from the Unblock Your Love Block. So for January is Turkey Spirit, give with gratitude and grace. And it does feel like, I want to say cleaning out, right? Maybe you're cleaning out now as we prepare for January. And this, the Turkey Spirit, what is it? Give with gratitude and grace. This was a Christmas Day card, I remember. It was pretty funny. Dear Turkey, we love you. So January feels like a cleaning up, cleaning out, really organizing, which, is kind of general energies for the start of the year and getting clear on what you want to do and achieve. For that, the bottom card, as I've shuffled that deck for January is the dog spirit, so be loyal to what you love. And again, that comes back to making your dreams real, yeah? Like, be loyal to what you love, heads down, bum up, choose you, like block out the world and like reconnect back to you. So maybe that's a big part of January as well, and it sort of sets the tone for the rest of the year. And so when I pulled one of these cards from the Unblock Your Love book from January, it goes hand in hand. It's actually the transformation card. So, you know, right on point here, yeah? Of course, changes within bring you many blessings. And again, this is, you know, it's so symbolic, yeah? The butterfly. It's like you're out of the cocoon now, and it's time for you to spread your wings. And maybe that is, you know, blocking out the world and heads down, bum up. So even though you're coming out to the world, you're also blocking out to the world to heads down, bum up. So instead of like being out there, you're really, you know, looking within. Maybe you're starting a new program or inner work, you know, really deep commitment to yourself. In really like changing your internal reality to make your dreams real. And it just feels like you have sort of disconnected from either a lot of people to clean out and really set strong boundaries, or you've disconnected from a lot of world stuff and you're just realizing that you're waking up out of a slumber, out of like, what have I been in the past couple of years? Like, it feels like a cloak has lifted, and there's a lot of clarity. And the turkey spirit, as I said, I feel is very much around like cleaning up, becoming clear about what you have, and giving yourself that gift of the gratitude for the right now, for what you have achieved, for where you've come from, and what you've landed with, so to speak. Yeah. And it's like building on top of that. Okay. So that's January, is a lot of cleaning out, transformation. And so, you know, if we look at the butterfly and the caterpillar in the cocoon, it's almost like your wings are spread and you're coming out of the cocoon, and or you've come out of the cocoon. And you know how I said it's like a lot of organizing, cleaning up. Like I saw like inside the cocoon, and it's like cleaning up all the edges of the cocoon so that you can break free or something. And so there might be that tidying up, like I really sort of sensing that tidying up, getting clear, cleaning out energy for January as well. But it does feel like you're focusing on your priorities in January, and, you know, really coming back to you, because where have you been the last couple of years, right? So, all right. So for February. Okay. The dolphin spirit. This and that and true. This is such a powerful card. And the bobcat spirit is deeply jumping out at me. So this and that are true from the dolphin. It's almost like, what do you want to believe? Because that's true. This and that is true. And there's a very in-between space with the dolphin spirit and with February. It's a very in-between. So it does feel a bit like a slingshot or a catapult energy. It feels very like a whoop, about to fly in February. That feels like a very deep energy, in a sense of like, whatever you want to believe about the situation is true. Now that applies to any moment and any stage of your life, but in February it feels really strong that this and that are true, in a sense of like, anything you want to believe about the situation is 100% correct for you right now, and that's what it's going to be. Yeah. So this and that are true for February, and like I said, is very connected to the bobcat overlying message of, you know, life is a mystery. Like, whatever you want to believe about the situation is true. And I feel for February, there's a lot of going on behind the scenes. So the web is still being fun, and you're about to land in the center of it and just go, whoop, here we go. Like, here we are now, you know? So I'm not sure what that deep energy is, but it does feel like hold the faith. This and that is true. I feel like, you know, if there was a word for February, it's faith. Have faith, stay connected to faith. Like the sort of sparkles coming up out of what appears to look like a lotus flower in this image is very much around, like, there is so much magic around. Do not, you know, like, keep the faith, and there's so much magic around. So like, what's the word, like, don't put the magic out, don't put those sparks out. Like, whatever you want to wish for February will come true, and it's like, hold that faith, because whatever you believe about it is true. So as I've shuffled, and for February, the dolphin spirit, The lion spirit is the bottom card of the deck. So a lot of like, it says be generous of spirit. In January was the turkey. So give with, what is it? Give with gratitude and grace. The overlying card for February is the lion spirit, be generous of spirit. So it feels like a lot of, I want to say a lot of giving, and that doesn't necessarily have to be to everyone else, but maybe it is. Maybe that's why coming out of the cocoon is like you've done your you time, and now it's time to, you know, step up the levels of your service, come out and show the world who you are. You know, it's make your dreams real. You know, that's the spider spirit, right, of the overlying bottom sort of unconscious of this year. So if the overlying card for this year was the bobcat spirit, fell out on the ground, and this was the bottom card of the deck, perhaps this is the unconscious undertone for 2023. It's like really like, okay, now it's time to make your dreams real, and everything that you do in this year for 2023 is about that so it's almost like that's all you're doing, right? It's like, what else would you be doing anyway? So when I pulled the unblock your love block card for February is time, and again there's another butterfly on it, so confirming the, you know, coming out, showing the world who you are, and it says everything is in divine and perfect order. So it's very much like, I'm like, can you just keep that magic alive in February? Like, now is not the time to I want to say be disheartened or put that magic spark out. Like, you don't want to put a lid on all those sparkles. You don't want to put a lid on the light. You don't want, like, don't put the freaking magic out. Like, it's just started to come back, you know. And trailblazer, I'm hearing trailblazer. So for February, it's like you're laying the foundations. You're a trailblazer. You're a pioneer. You're somebody who hasn't done something before. And it's so important for you to like keep that magic alive, whatever that, you know, I want to say, like, however you can do that. Yeah, it says everything is in divine and perfect order. So again, like I said, it's like, there's a dip, right? There's a dip that's happening in February, but it's like a slingshot catapult, like, you know, like the bow and arrow are being pulled back, like you're about to fly. So let's see what March is got in store, because this is all pretty, you know, quite exciting. So now we're moving into it. Okay. So for March. Okay, times you want to come back and watch/listen to this reading would be February. So, you know, obviously you're watching it at the start, I would imagine, and then you can come back through the year to sort of remind yourself. Definitely February, March, April as well, June, September, November, and no, that's it. Yeah, so they're the times to come back and just sort of, oh, that's right, that's what's going on, just if you need that support, so you can write those down. So in March, lots of heart healing. The nightingale on all of this green heart chakra, and it says love is all around. And so in February, maybe the sparks and maybe the like slingshot and maybe the like, it's almost like you don't know where you're going to end up in February, but then in March, it's like everything your heart desires, you know, I want to say comes true. And this is where like keeping the faith in February is just so strong, and the transformation and the butterfly, like in the divine and perfect timing, like, can you just not, it's almost like, can you just not doubt Spirit's plan for you? Can you just not doubt, you know, what's going to come true? Like, you know, and what was the other thing? It's just like the life is a mystery, and this and that is true. This magic and this and that is true. It's the in-between. It's the dark and the light. It's this is happening and this is happening. It's the bad stuff and the good stuff all at the same time. Like, this is life, right? And then when we look at, in March, it's like all your heartstrings come true. Like, there's some big heart healing, heart opening. There's a reconnection either to yourself and or with another person that feels like a new person, but it feels like you've known them for a long time. And interesting, so for March, it's almost like everything starts turning again, and like I said, all your heartstrings come true. So this is the antelope, life is speeding up. And this is like that sense in March. It's like, oh, so now the magic's happening. You know, now my heart's dreams are being fulfilled. Now my wish is coming true. And it's just like, can you just hold that faith? Because in March it is that, and it's like the sound and the singing and the dancing and the fun and the joy, like more celebrations, please. It does feel like that for March. Like, make sure you're celebrating this. Okay, so ancestors. And so it's interesting, right? So in March, it says old family energy is waiting to be released from you. And so if we look at that as sort of like, you know, if we look at the heart chakra, there's deep ancestral, it's on covered in goosebumps to say this, deep ancestral, heartbroken lineages, healed, repaired, covered in goosebumps as I say this, whatever's been in disarray. I do see like crumbling of buildings, like not necessarily new buildings, like old buildings, and I feel like that's probably representative of the ancestors. Like it's almost like the ties and the threads that the ancestors have had over our collective have been broken in March. Now, whether that is a collective symbolic shift, and I do feel like March, April, May is going to be like a big change for the entire world, whatever that looks like and means. Is that a consciousness shift? Is that a physical change in our environment in March, April, May for the collective? Is it personal? And is it just a consciousness shift within yourself because you have broken family lineages? Because it does feel like huge heart healing for March. And in that huge heart healing and heart opening, it is like deep in the ancestral line. You know what I mean? Like that deep ancestral lineage it doesn't have a hold over you anymore. You know, like whatever you've done of whatever work, it has broken those threads, and I want to say that should be celebrated. And because of that, now everything can move fast. Yeah, that's the overlying card there. I'm just going to check this one. And so interesting, right? So responsibility. So for March, it's not what happens, it's what you do about it. So that's the overlying card as I've shuffled for the ancestors coming out. So it's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it. And it's so interesting, right? So in February, it's like this and that are true. And it is about, you know, whatever we want to believe is happening and is coming true. The nightingale spirit, the love is all around, and the ancestors, so big heart healing, breaking lineage and generational ties. It's almost like the patterns are broken, and it's, you know, it's like, it's not what happens, it's what you do about it. And I want to say how fast you slingshot, how fast things move, life is speeding up, is almost like how quickly can you jump on this moving train, not physically, okay, not literally. Like how, like, okay, there's opportunities that are coming in March, April, like how fast are you going to, you know, as I said, I saw like all the old buildings crumbling, and it feels like the responsibility is like, you know, are you going to focus on what is crumbling, or are you going to jump on this new foundation that is all of a sudden appearing to you because all of that has been broken and washed down and dissipated and disappeared or something? I don't know how to describe it, right? It's like, how fast are you going to, you know, jump on this opportunity? It is what it feels like. So, and I'm hearing like detangling from the threads. So in April, I shuffled, but the antelope spirit has come out. So a lot of fast-paced moving energy. Perhaps there is like a, you know, as I said, like March, April, May, I'm getting that shift in the collective. You know, is it literally like our environment is going to change? You know, is that a physical change? Like we've had very strange weather patterns, and, you know, he said, she said about whose responsibility that is. Interesting, the responsibility card. I think it's way bigger than us, and I think it's out of our control. You know, and I just feel like the faster you can adapt to change and move and shift with it is where I want to say the success is, right? So interesting for April. So 2 just fell out. One is the playfulness card, yeah, and whatever this is, because I haven't looked at it yet because I'm showing you first. Passion. Be adventurous and ignite your passion. There we go. I said, how fast can you jump on this, right? How fast can you jump on this opportunity? March sees your heart opening, and within that, breaking old generational ancestry patterns. In April, everything's moving fast at rapid speed. Like, there's a lot of joy in that. If you are to jump on this rapid change that is accelerating, it's almost, and this is what I said, like in February, it's like the bow's being pulled back, the arrow's being pulled back, the bow's being pulled back, and then it's off, right? It's here we go. So, so the playfulness, the passion. So I'm just going to pause this. I'm going to open the door for my cat, and I'm going to turn the aircon on because, it's got really hot. So bear with me. Okay, we're back. So the antelope spirit, life speeding up, the playfulness, passion. And this is where, like that, the bow, the arrows being pulled back, the slingshot, the catapult that I was getting, that message in February, and then it's like, it's all go, like the heart healing, the heart opens, something crumbles, like I said, is that a physical environment change for you collectively, for people, something in the environment, and March, April, May is like go time, like the wheels start turning again. The antelope spirit confirming that for April, and it feels like hectic energy, but not hectic in a bad way, like the playfulness, like life is too short to be serious, and this is where I said in March, how it's almost like how, I don't know how to describe it, like how rapidly you want to change your life is how fast you're going to say yes to opportunities that present to you, because life is too short. In April, it's like things are really moving forward, like because you've said yes in a way, it's like, don't be afraid of the passion and the spark and the fire and the liveliness and the playfulness. It's almost like this is what you've been birthing for like forever, right? All right, so let's have a look for May. So it's like freeing your heart. So big heart energy. Getting goosebumps for 2023. And maybe this is claiming yourself from the past few years. The bobcat, there's a lot of green on that card as well, the heart chakra. And so May, and a lot of reclaiming yourself. Is that what I was just talking about? Because the heart, reclaiming yourself. And so, and this is where, January, February, March, April, May. So March, April, it was like, jump on the opportunities. How fast do you want to it's like, don't let this pass you by, right? Open your heart, healing old generational patterns, jump on the train, on the opportunity train, okay? Life is speeding up, and then by, March, April, May, you're seeing clearly now, and it's almost like the past few months you've had to run on blind faith. You've had to say yes when you had no freaking idea how it was going to work. You had no idea what was in store except for you felt it in your heart, and it's like, by, what's that, February, March, April, January, February, March, April, May. By May, you're like, oh my God, I see the truth now. I understand why that happened. I understand why I said yes. And it's interesting because the overlying card as I've shuffled for this May is the boundaries. And it's like you see clearly now. It's like, okay, now I can almost like come back to self in a different way. Now I can it's almost like put all your structures, your routines back into place. And it's not that it was bad that, all of that stopped or changed, or, like I said, there was a crumbling through March, and that was breaking all the generational patterns in setting your heart free and opening your heart, setting your heart free. you're making your dreams real, remember. Like, that's the undertone message for 2023. You're making your dreams real, and that will require you to run on faith at some periods of time, right? And sometimes everything falls apart, and everything falls apart because you're running on faith and pure intuition. And to create the life that you want to create and make your dreams real does require a dismantling of your old life, like, and of old generations. So it's interesting, in the May, it's like you see clearly now, and so your intuition's on point. Do not doubt yourself in May. Continue, I want to say, set healthy boundaries, like continue to trust yourself in May. And the protection card is here. Protect yourself from the negativity of others. And this is interesting, like the boundaries you're seeing clearly now. It just feels like, you know, whatever you've gone through and whatever change happened in the last few months, everything moving at rapid speed, now you can come back to self. Now you can, and I want to say, like, trust that this is all unfolding because you trusted. Okay, and you wouldn't have stepped forward, done the things, you know, if you weren't protected in that. Meaning, like, if it wasn't meant for you, you wouldn't have done it. If it wasn't meant for you, your intuition it wouldn't even be in your awareness. So, you know, really trust that you're protected no matter what. And this is, she's holding like a staff that's got the yin and the yang on it, the balance. And I feel like this is where, you know, in May, the strong message is like, this is not a repeat of old patterns. This is a different level of self-awareness, right? The intuition. Okay, ours deeply connected to your third eye and intuition. Third eye is connected to relationships, boundaries, self, right? And I just feel like you're in a different place now. Like, this is not a repeat of old patterns. This is you've broken down structures, and now this is like you're writing this as you step. Like, you literally, like, there is so much power and magic. And this is where back in February, there was so much power and magic around, do not let this faith disappear. Like, don't put the magic out, right? And so by May, it's like you literally are like creating it as you step, as you think. Like, your power has exponentially increased. And so do not doubt that everything you think, everything you feel, everything you say, and everything you put into action is not having an effect, because you are literally creating it as you go. These are not old patterns playing out. Like, you can change that in a moment, in a thought, because you're making your dreams real. Like, you're spinning the web here. Nobody has control over you, because you're the one that sets boundaries. You're the ones that put things into place in May. And again, May is about like restructuring the foundations. And what I mean by that is more around not doubting yourself, but it's like you can reground yourself. So what does that mean for you, right? But it's like your power is exponentially increased in May. Do not doubt that, 100%. In June, take a leap of faith. Like, come on. See, this is what I'm talking about, yeah? It's like, no, this is not a repeat of old patterns. And by June, it's like, see, take a leap of faith. Like, what do you really want to do? June is a really good time to remember that you are creating your dreams, and that is the only thing you need to focus on. Take a leap of faith, because we know what happens when faith is involved, okay? Dog spirit, be loyal to what you love. That also came out in January too, is when I shuffled, and that was the bottom card, I'm pretty sure, from memory. And, you know, so take a leap of faith in June. And like, it's like May was like, well, that's right, this is what I'm doing. June is like, cool, foundations and new foundations and new layers are occurring right now. So now I can just do it again. Like, I can just, you know, not do it again, but do what I love again. Like, and you're doing it with a whole nother layer of faith, a whole, I want to say, different outlook, a different perspective, a different, I don't know how to describe it. It's there. So in June, take a leap of faith, and it says forgiveness will free your heart. And so again, there's so much heart stuff. Like, I think just 2023 is all about your heart chakra, following your heart, doing what your heart loves, blah, 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 all the things. Like, there's nothing to be doubting about your heart and what you want to do. And I do feel there's a big weight of armor that comes off your heart in June, whatever that means. Maybe that is the forgiveness, and it's just like, can you just set yourself free and set everyone else free at the same time? And so here, so the bottom card for June is happiness. Like, it's okay to be happy. It's okay to be happy. And remember, back in April, it was all about life is speeding up, your passion, your purpose, playfulness, like this is what you've been working to create this whole time. And so by June, it's okay to be happy. Like, you've done, you've opened your heart, you're setting yourself free. Maybe there's more forgiveness that needs to come out. Take a leap of faith, and I want to say trust, because this is like, these are new foundations, and I can't stress that enough. It feels really strong to keep reminding you that these are the foundations that you've laid of all the reasons that you've done all the work in the first place, right? Okay, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So important. Okay, so July has similar energies to April. Life is speeding up, playfulness, don't be too serious, be adventurous, ignite your passion. So maybe there's travel in July. Rabbit spirit, now is a lucky time. And again, this whole year is based around making your dreams real, not settling. I think you've even past the settling phase, because you're just going for what you want. I feel like nothing is holding you back, and I'm feeling called to pull another card for this. So overcome any obstacle. And this is where I feel for July, I'm just like, this is the time, like now is the time. Everything's moving forward, like, overcome any obstacle. It just feels like you're going to be quick onto like shifting things. It's like nothing is holding you back. You're like, okay, where are we, like, how do we get around this? Like, how do we make it happen? Like, it's almost like nothing can stop you here, right? So, yep, an inner child has come out, and this one came out as well while I was shuffling, is the balance. And that's interesting, because I got that message for April, May was the balance. It was like, no, this is a complete balance and a whole rewrite of, your history. Like, you're not repeating history, you're creating it as you go. And then, so July is the balance card itself that has come out, and it's like, this is everything that you've been working towards. The inner child is here, and it does feel like remember yourself. Like, I want to say, don't get lost in everything. Like, it's a lucky time, but stay connected to yourself and the balance. And I just feel like, again, this is more of like, you have, like, you're in this energy now, like you're a whole new person. And whilst you might flick, you know how to pull yourself back. Like, now is a lucky time. There is baby rabbits on this card as well. So maybe there's like family there. Maybe there is a child that comes in, or something to do with a child, like the inner child is there, but again, maybe it's your child. And this is also about reconnecting back to your truth. And what you really want, and then obviously the balance. And perhaps, the past few months have been like massive change, and now you're like, okay, cool, so we can keep doing this, but also like, this is what I want too. And it's like another level of reconnecting to your truth, another level of connecting to your heart and what's really important to you. So for August, see, Spirit has a plan. So it's like, overcome any obstacle. I was talking about children, the balance, reconnecting to remembering what you want for July. And then August is like, Spirit has a plan. It's like, this energy for August feels similar to February, where this and that are true. Keep the faith, the miracles are there, like the energy is there. But it's like, you're going to have to stretch your faith. And so with August, and Spirit has a plan, it's like, I want to say also for August, can you just step back and stop trying to control and force this? Because Spirit has a plan, and it's way bigger than you could ever like imagine. And so this Be Generous of Spirit has come up again for the bottom card for August. And it's very much around like the courage, trust in self. And I want to say, stop putting yourself last. Interesting. Stop putting yourself last. So even though I feel like you've really worked on that so much, August is like, can you just come back to yourself? Can you just, like, maybe August is a good time to go on a holiday, travel. Look at that. Surrender. How freaking interesting, right? So this is August. Like, can you just step back, come back to self, stop trying to control and force this to happen? It is happening. Let go. The fairies are really jumping out at me here. And so this feels like a lot of, having goosebumps. I want to say like a lot of healing of your spirit. Healing, your spirit's never damaged, but healing of your aura, healing of your energetic body from any damage. Now that could be from recent, or it could be like you're healing from long-term damage. And it's almost by August, this is like your month of healing, your month of replenish, reset. Like, you know, like you're healing. If August is hard, you're healing from deep-seated trauma wounds from eons gone by, even past life. Koala is very connected to past life as well. So it's interesting that's there. And give yourself that life. So the fairies actually help to repair your energetic aura. So lots of time in nature. If you can float, go to the sensory deprivation tanks, float, get in water, lots of baths. Like, it's almost like you're rebirthing again. And so it's interesting, right? So the bottom card here is a nostalgia, that one. It's like a lot of past stuff coming up. It's so interesting. I was like, can you stop forcing it to happen? Spirit has a plan. You know, come back to self, you know, but it's like whatever's happening through August, it's healing old stuff. It's like another level of it. And it's just like to step back and just trust this process, and just know that like there's a lot of deep healing going on for you. Because by September, mouse spirit, tend to the small things again, coming back to self. And then the seahorse spirit, watch and wait. So another, there's 3 cards here. Actually, this one's stuck together. Interesting. So, okay. So I thought there was 2. Okay. But then this one, these 2 are really stuck together. And it's like, is it watch and wait? Oh, tend to the small things. And I said, come back to self. And then with this one, act as if. And so this is where I was saying, like, August, can you just like let go of control, stop trying to force this. Spirit has a plan. And so September, that faith is still being stretched. Act as if, and so come back to you, I said. And then this was stuck, and so it's like, come back to you, and imagine if it already had happened, how would you be acting? This other card here is watch and wait. And so it's like, it feels like almost like, you know, August, September there's nothing else that you can do right now to force and make this happen. Like, it is out of your hands. And I don't mean by like, oh, stop trying or stop doing anything. I mean, like, you've done everything you can do. There's a divine timing at play. Spirit has a plan. It's the first card that came out. So August and September are very tied together. You know, the life is a mystery. Make your dreams real. Like, it's happening. They're the overline cards for 2023. So 3 cards that have come there. Let's have a look for the unblock your love blocks, unblock your abundance, unblock your level of receiving for 2023. This is this is for September. And all of this just fell out. And I feel like there is so much going on, and there's so much at play. You can't do anything about it. And please know where I'm coming from when I say that. It's more around, stop trying to force this, because there's nothing else. Like, you have done everything you can do. The only thing you need to do is stay in alignment, okay? Stay in alignment of self. That's why there's 3 that have come here. Stay in alignment of self. Act as if. Tend to you. Come back to the present moment. Come back to the things that fill you up. Okay? Because remember, in August, it was all about surrender and coming back to that. And it's like, just, can you, like, there's nothing else you can do, in a sense of like, you have done everything. The only thing you can do is hold the faith. Keep doing what you need to do. and turn up because you know what it is. And it's interesting. It says, acknowledge what is. Your life's journey is perfect for you. And so there's a lot of trust. There's a lot of surrender for August and September. There's a lot of like, can you just like tend to the small things, like just stay in the present moment, because anything else is going to make you go insane at this point. And I mean that in a sense of like your dreams are coming true, like it's happening, but you know, it's almost like, did things not work out the way you thought they were going to work out? Or is it more like, I just feel like stop trying to force and control, like Spirit's got your back. Spirit has a plan, but there's something that is, it's not that it's not the right timing, but there is a divine timing to this. But it's like all these other things that are nothing to do with you need to happen before you can do any more. And again, please don't take that as like, don't do any work, don't do anything. Like, that's not where I'm coming from. I trust you know where I'm coming from with this, okay? So October, and this card's come out several times, but now this is October message, be generous of spirit. And this feels like, come back to your freaking soul and just come alive again. Step back into your freaking power in October. Spirit, the otter spirit is the overlying card for that. You are never alone. And there's like two otters in a heart. And again, this is coming back to your heart. The lion's very connected to the heart. Again, lots of heart healing this year. You know, reconnect back to your soul. It just feels like there is something that is so important to you, and it's so important that you just do this. Let's see what this is. So October, and I just feel like there's another message for the lion spirit there. Let's have a look. Earth healing, step into nature and come out of isolation. And so the isolation, again, this is where I'm like, can you just reconnect back to your soul? Can you just reconnect back to your friggin' soul in essence of like what you are really here to do? I don't feel like you've been sidetracked, but I feel like you've been trying to make something happen. Again, I was like, there's all these other outside circumstances that are nothing even to do with you, that energetically on a bigger world picture need to happen before you can do anything else. So again, you've done everything that you need to do. And it's so interesting when I've pulled that, you know, come back to yourself, come out of isolation, come back to your spirit. See how much green is in these cards? You know, with this as well, like it's very, I don't know, so maybe this is a heart chakra year. So, and as I've shuffled, the next thing is like conquer self-doubt. You have what it takes to live your dreams. What is the whole point of this year, right? Is making your dreams real. And so conquering self-doubt, you have what it takes to live your dreams. This is like, and it's so interesting because the hummingbird is the animal totem for the ear chakra consciousness. And what did I say? That this deck is very ear chakra consciousness that's been called to come into play for our 2023 reading. And I'm just laughing because I'm like, oh, I always talk about the ears, the heart, and the base are so interconnected. And I'm like, oh, the ear chakra is the heart chakra. I'm like, okay. Conquer self-doubt. You have what it takes to live your dreams. Come out of the cage. Step out of isolation. So interesting there, if you've sort of locked yourself away, but I feel it's more like you've locked your spirit away sort of message, you know, like why did you do that, you know? No. And so you're sort of reclaiming yourself in October. November, let's have a look for November. I feel like big achievements for November. So the surrender card has come out, surrender now. And it does feel like a let go, but it feels like you've let go to come back to yourself. You've come back to your purpose. So lots of red. So I was just talking about ears, heart, and base chakra. Base chakra is the red. So, movement through November, like a fluttering of movement. Is that like getting things done? Is that a physical move house? Is that a change in career? Interesting, like opportunities that the acorn is now growing into the oak tree. Like believe in yourself. The squirrel is the bottom card here. So I want to say surrender to the process. And again, this is the thing, like coming back to August when you're trying to force, and it's like, no, like there's other things going on. And so for August, September, October, November is sort of like when the oak tree starts to show its leaves, like when the new acorns are like, again, like it's not like you weren't doing it or you couldn't, or like we knew what I meant when I said you couldn't, but this is like the truth about the exact piece when I said, you know, like there is way bigger things going on that it's like the world's not ready for you yet type energy. And again, like now it's starting to come into play in November. It's like, yes, now you can do this. Now you can believe in yourself, and now's the time to believe in yourself. Because now there is that movement of, you know, from back in August when you were trying to force stuff, and I was like, your spirit's got a plan, like it's out of your hands, like can you just keep doing what you're doing right now? That's not the time. Because look at that, the abundance card has come out for November. So and this is where I was like, the acorns have now grown into the oak tree, and they're growing new acorns. Like that's how much it's flourished, if you may. So you already have what you need to love, and it's like the fireworks celebration. I feel like there's a lot of opportunities that are coming in November because of what you've done this year. Like it's like everyone can see who you are now or something. And I don't mean that in a egotistical way. It's like, you know, this whole year has been about making your dreams real. And, you know, August, September, October is, you know, August, September, you're just like, oh, sort of give up. But the surrender in November is like, see, it's like you're not in control of this, in the sense of like spirit has a plan. It's way bigger than you. And all you can do is continue to turn up and trust intuition and keep going with that, right? So let's have a look for December. See, it all came through. All right, what have we got here? December. Okay, 2. Oh. What a way to finish the year. Ooh, this is also the bottom card of the deck again, the otter. What is it? I was going to say believe in yourself. It's you are never alone. We just had that. So again, 2 have come together, stuck out together. Horse, freedom is now yours. So after that, like November and, you know, the abundance coming in and the surrendering, and now's the time to believe in yourself, because everything that you tried to force, you know, in the previous few months, it's like, no, that spirit's got your back and spirit has a plan. It's not yet time, but now it's time. And like, you know, if we look at December, the freedom is yours, and the horse is very connected to magic, connected to unicorn, connected to Pegasus, but also believing yourself, and also the astral body, so dream state, lots of dreams, like I want to say prolific dreams, so abundance dreams, forget what's the word, clear dreams. Maybe you're going to have a lot of dreams, but then I'm like struggling to find the word, because actually dreams, like you're making your dreams real. That it's like, you know, if you're not fully living your dreams and your purpose by December, I'd be very surprised, right? So horse spirit, but also you have a choice. Depends what you do this year, right? Remember? So horse spirit, freedom is yours. What's this card that was stuck to it? I haven't seen it yet. Hummingbird. Oh my God, this is like the ear chakras. We're just talking about that. And I was like, come out of the cage and like connect your heart, ears, heart, and base. So interesting. So like ears, the heart has been really strong. And then the base chakra, right? The moth spirit. And then the hummingbird, be here now. Freedom is yours. Can we just like have a breath out? Like what a beautiful way to, like, freedom is yours, be here now. And like I said, if you're not living your dreams by the end of 2023, I'd be very, very surprised. But again, that's up to you, right? That's really up to you and the choices that you make. But how freaking beautiful are those 2 cards to finish on 2023, like in December. I haven't even pulled the other deck yet. Like that just says it all, you know, that really says it all. And so, you know, it's almost like, remember in August, September, when it's maybe really hard. Wow. Overcome fear. Check it out. Success and freedom. Which way are you going to, which path are you going to take? So maybe December is a choice point as well for you. Yeah. Which path are you really going to continue and take into 2024? Accept and nurture your fear and move forward anyway. See, freedom is yours, but you have to choose it. Yeah, you have to overcome the fear and choose it. And the way to do that is just to connect into now and, you know, back in September, and I was saying like the mouse was like mouse spirit of like just coming back and tending to the small things. So there might be energy of that in December as well, of like, you know, coming back into the now, choosing that. But you literally have a choice, like choice point, but it does feel like you're living it more than ever. And you know, this is like, look at where you've been this year, and it's freaking amazing. Again, it's a responsibility of yourself to make the choices that are going to enable you to make your dreams real in 2023. This one, I'm looking for the spider spirit. That was the overlying, that's the I want to say unconscious drive this year is making your dreams real. And life is a mystery. There's a lot of surrender. There's a lot of trusting your intuition before you've got confirmation in 2023. And it's really up to you. It's so interesting. This is like Merlin, like sort of looks, yeah, and very purple. Trusting your intuition, trusting the intuition in your soul. Like the purple is very connected to your crown chakra and your soul and the intuition that comes through into your body. And are you going to act on that? Because you have a responsibility, and it's a choice whether you want to, you know, make that happen. So there is our 2023 forecast, if you may. You have a choice, and it's so interesting too, like the spider spirit and the responsibility are very connected there. Like purple, you know, this is like literally making your dreams reality in 2023. So if you want to work with me over 2023 to stay connected to your heart, stay connected to your dreams, to have that mentor, that guide, to really enhance your intuition over 2023, comment below, send me a message, connect with me, and we shall talk about the options. And I really do believe in you for 2023, because the last few years have wiped everybody out, and now it's your time to really create what you want, because the choice is yours. Life is a mystery. This and that are true from the dolphin spirit, yeah? And you literally have the magic and the power in your hands. So create the best freaking year ever.